Let's start off with the three things to know when it comes to coronavirus. Number one, experts think Oregon has hit its peak for hospitalizations, though they are still very high. 1,138 people are in the hospital with COVID tonight. That's two fewer than yesterday. 297 patients are in the ICU. 47 new COVID-19 related deaths were reported today in Oregon. This graph shows weekly deaths, and it looks like they're starting to level out. Number two, we found out one of those recent deaths was an infant. According to the Douglas County Public Health Office, the baby was under a year old. The infant was diagnosed August 20th and passed away Monday. Health officials said in the interest of privacy for the loved ones, no other information would be released. And number three, the U.S. is reporting a higher number of COVID-19 cases this year than in all of 2020. According to data from Johns Hopkins University, the U.S. has already seen more than 20,146,000 cases in the first 9 months of the year, compared to 20,100,000 last year. New numbers from the CDC also show a nearly 5% increase in cases from last week. In Washington's Cowlitz County, the coroner's office is overwhelmed with bodies caused by a spike in COVID deaths. Commissioners declared an emergency, so the coroner has a place to safely store all of the dead. Drew Mickelson looks at how that county is trying to handle the record caseload.
Cowlitz County Coroner's Office was built to house 10 bodies, 12 max. But since last weekend,
we've been averaging 17 to 19.
County Coroner Tim Davidson went to the commissioners requesting an emergency declaration so he can buy a refrigerated trailer. And Wednesday afternoon, they approved that request.
We're overwhelmed. My people are exhausted. You know, we're doing the best we can to maintain the dignity of the deceased and get them back to their loved ones so they can continue on as a family.
We are at rates we've never seen before in Cowlitz County.
Deputy Health Officer Dr. Stephen Krager says he's frustrated. Only 52% of the county's population has had at least one dose of a COVID vaccine. Peace Health St. John Medical Center, the one hospital in Cowlitz County, put up a tent to make room for patients. It hasn't been needed yet. The hospital has postponed elective surgeries and overnight procedures. Unless it's an emergency, they're telling patients to seek care elsewhere and opened up a testing clinic 7 days a week at another facility to keep people away. The hospital had COVID cases in the single digits from May until August, but those numbers have exploded, topping 60 last week, and a growing number are deadly cases.
I hope this is a little bit of a wake-up call for people. I mean, I don't know how much more real you can get than our morgue being filled up with people.
All the funeral homes are full, so.
The coroner hopes things will improve soon. The refrigerated trailer should be here next week. And next month, their new morgue will open, providing room for more than 50 bodies.
I hope that doesn't happen. I never thought when this started that we would be where we're at today.
That was Drew Mickelson reporting. And as the Delta variant spreads, the need for testing is way up. And that has OHSU reopening a drive-up testing clinic at the Portland Expo Center. The site opened today and is capable of testing up to 4,000 people, running Monday through Friday. They're administering the PCR test, which is the most accurate, but takes 24 to 48 hours to get the results. It's the one that goes up your nose. It's available to anyone over 2 months old.
Anyone who thinks they've been exposed, anyone who needs to get tested for work, for travel, we are trying to meet all the needs of the community, whatever they might be for testing.
Right now, the site is by appointment only. To see how to make that appointment, check out this story on KGW.com. Portland Mayor Ted Wheeler now says he cannot mandate that all Portland police officers get the COVID vaccine like every other city employee. The mayor says he's disappointed, and he blames new guidance from the Oregon Health Authority. Issued Friday, it clarifies who is covered by a broader mandate for healthcare workers. Previously, the Oregon Health Authority had argued police were covered by that mandate because they're trained to perform basic first aid. But now the state says police are, quote, probably not covered under the mandate because that's not a key part of their job. Dan Tennell is a lawyer who's helping a group of state troopers sue Oregon Governor Kate Brown over vaccine mandates. He told our Maggie Vespa first responders shouldn't be forced to get the shot.
What do you say to people who are undoubtedly sitting at home, they're listening to this, and they're just fed up, and with vaccine resistance. And they say, no, this is how you serve people, by getting vaccinated, protecting yourself, protecting others.
That's the answer for them, but that doesn't mean they should impose that opinion on other people.
The Portland Police Bureau told us it doesn't have an exact count on how many officers are vaccinated, but it believes most are. The union, however, had warned several officers would resign rather than get the vaccine. In developing news tonight, police are trying to find two people who robbed a couple walking down a trail in Tigard. It happened Tuesday night on the Fano Creek Trail near Southwest Johnston and Grant Avenue. The man and woman say they were walking home from dinner when two men got out of a truck and robbed them. They took the woman's purse, cell phone, and car keys. Police say the robbers drove away in a navy blue Ford F-150 or F-250 with tinted windows and possibly a canopy. If you have any information on the case, call Tigard Police. And this just into our newsroom. Fire crews worked quickly to put out a brush fire in St. Helens. Columbia River Fire shared this photo of the scene. The fire was burning right in the middle of town on Columbia Boulevard behind El Tapatio restaurant. About 200 people were evacuated as a precaution, but crews kept the flames from spreading to any structures. People are being asked to avoid the area right now as the investigation continues. All this week, we've been following up with survivors of the wildfires that were spreading through Oregon this time last year. For many, the past year has been a roller coaster of emotions, from terror to heartache to renewed hope. Christine Pitawanich spoke with a man dedicated to documenting that journey.
Across the year, maybe thousands of images were taken. That's the way it works. Usually there's a bunch of good ones, but one that tells the story the most. And those probably could be counted, maybe 65 or 70 images.
These are a result of Bruce McGregor's passion project. This past year, he traveled all over Oregon, visiting areas devastated by wildfire, photographing people and talking to them.
I think that was the trade for me, a chance to listen to them and for them a chance to be heard. This was the Aftermath project. You know, I kind of caught up with those people at stages that ranged from grief to overcoming grief and beginning the process of trying to rebuild.
McGregor drove hundreds of miles, spending time with around 100 people.
I think as I heard these stories, I think I got to be in the fire.
The stories had a common thread. The fire was fast. People had minutes to grab what they could and get out. It was terrifying.
But what ties these people together, for me, was the courage that they all showed the night of the fire, even more perhaps after the fire was over.
The courage, resilience, and strength of the people he met, captured in a moment, in photos like this taken near Lincoln City, a man whose story of survival is reflected in his eyes.
I think what unfolded for me was the strength of the story that had to be told around the courage of these individuals, not just to face what they faced the night of the fire, but to face this unbelievably difficult task of putting their lives back together.
And that rebuilding, of course, still ongoing. His photos will also be featured to orchestral music at the Siletz Bay Music Festival this Saturday, September 11th. Christine Pitawanich, KGW News.